Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. Finally the time has come when we will have our discussion on the yearly predictions for the upcoming year of 2022 for all the Pisces ascendant natives. So friends, before we will start our discussion, it's my humble request that I have also uploaded the same yearly prediction video on this channel from the perspective of numerology as well. So if you haven't watched that video, it's my request to watch that video as well, because that is definitely going to give you this insight, this idea that how the universal vibrations and energies are going to be impacting all of us on a collective way. And friends, before we will start our discussion, we will first pray to Lord Ganesha, who is the Hindu god of auspiciousness, good omens, good beginnings. So Om Vakratun Mahakai Surya Koti Samprabha Nirvignam Kuruma Deva Sarvkarishu Sarvada. O Lord Ganesha, who has got a huge body, who has got a curved elephant trunk, who has got a brilliance of the billion of suns, please remove all the obstacles from my path. So friends, first we will start with the kind of divination, with the kind of prophecy which I have received from tarot, which is definitely going to be influencing the whole year of yours. So friends, the card which I received from tarot came out to be this card came out to be of the Magician card. So trust me friends, this is a very positive, very potent major arcana card, which in itself represents auspiciousness, good beginnings. So let's say for example, in whichever area or sphere of life you are currently engaged in, so whatsoever you have accumulated on your this life journey in the form of influence, in the form of knowledge, in the form of wisdom, in the form of skill, so this year is definitely going to instill that sort of inspired action in all of your maneuvers. So you are definitely going to be blessed with the form of the nature helping you, omens helping you, right set of people entering your life. And the good part with the energy of this card is that friends, this card also supports auspicious good beginnings as well. And the beauty of this card is that even if you will pay attention to the design of this card, you will get to know that in front of the table you will find all the suits being present over there. So pentacle, which represents earth element, when we talk about sword, which represents air element, cups, which represents water element, emotions, feelings, all sort of practical approach towards life are definitely going to help you prosper and progress in the life. So if I were to summarize the energy of this card, so this card in itself tells about inspired action. This card also tells about resourcefulness, manifestation and good beginnings, which can be seen with the appearance of this card as a part of the theme for next year's yearly prediction for all of you guys. So now friends, if you do not know much about tarot, it is a highly spiritual science. It's my request to do a research on this card, because whatsoever you will come across, trust me, that is going to be a part of the theme of your next year's endeavors. So friends, now we will first try to understand that how the slow moving planets are going to be impacting or influencing your complete next year. So friends, beginning first with the transit of Rahu and Ketu, because in the mid of the April, Rahu and Ketu will change signs. So their complete result or effect will start manifesting from the month of the May. So friends, as you know this thing that Rahu and Ketu, which so far has been transiting in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio, so next year they are going to change signs. Rahu will enter the Aries sign from the Taurus and Ketu will enter the Libra sign. So basis your ascendant friends, Rahu is going to be entering your second house and Ketu is going to be entering your 8th house. So friends, try to understand this thing, that whenever we talk about any influence of Rahu in the second house, that can be seen as a very good energy, because Rahu is a very materialistic planet. Rahu is a planet which has got insatiable appetite for amassing and accumulating more and more. And friends, as you know that second house, which in itself tells about when we talk about the prospects of the second house, it's about your vocal skills, it's about your speaking abilities. Second house also tells about your financial earning capacity. And friends, you have to understand this thing, that Rahu and Ketu do not have ownership of any signs. Basis different astrologers their own research. Some astrologers take Gemini as Rahu's exaltation sign, some astrologers take Taurus as Rahu's exaltation sign, but that is just the assumption. But try to understand this thing over here, that the moment Rahu is going to enter the Aries sign, so basis your ascendant Mars, the owner of the Aries, is a very auspicious planet for you guys, because Mars has got the rulership of your 9th house as well. So trust me, there is a strong possibility that this shift of Rahu and Ketu can prove to be very beneficial for you. Specifically, Rahu can actually contribute a lot in your financial prosperity and your financial abundance related matters. One thing, friends, which I want to tell you over here right at this stage is that just because the kind of contribution with Jupiter and Saturn is going to be playing this year for you, it becomes very important that it is advisable for you to look out of the box, expand your horizon where your finances are straight away getting concerned. But that should not happen at the cost of usurping other people's resource or eyeing other people's asset. So that is one thing which I want to tell you over here, because Rahu is an energy of illusion. Rahu is an energy of manipulation. And trust me, if you will go in the wrong or unethical, unlaw side of Rahu, which it can create temptation towards. So Jupiter and Saturn are actually going to be controlling and looking at your very sensitive houses. So try to refrain from that approach. Now friends, coming to the influence of Ketu for your ascendant. So friends, try to understand this thing, that Ketu is going to be transiting your 8th house. So 8th house, which has to do with the occult mysteries, which has to do with spirituality, which has to do with research, exploration, other people's asset. So I would say the transit of Ketu in your 8th house, and very soon once I will start explaining you the influence of Jupiter and Saturn as well. So this year is actually going to be creating some very positive energy for you guys, for any sort of, or for all those people who are engaged in research, in exploration, any of the concerns of paternal property or inheritances, legacies, if that is getting qualified in your case. So the transit of Rahu and Ketu is actually going to be creating some very positive energy for all the Pisces ascendant natives. Now friends, moving ahead. Now if you want to understand the contribution of Jupiter this year, so try to understand this thing, friends, that Jupiter is an auspicious planet for everyone. Out of all the 9 planets, it's Jupiter only which opens up the door of our moral conviction, door of opportunities for all of us. But for you guys, Jupiter becomes very important planet because it is your ascendant lord. So far friends, like in the month of November this year, like November 2021, so once Jupiter is going to enter the Aquarius sign, which for majority of the ascendants is going to be a harbinger of good news. But just because friends, in your case, Jupiter is going to be entering your 12th house. So Jupiter, a significator of expansion, wealth, prosperity, fortune, being in the house of losses, might not be able to manifest its best results. But trust me friends, the moment Jupiter is going to enter your first house, your ascendant, in the end of the April of the next year of 2022, or from the beginning of the month of May, you will start experiencing the benevolence of Jupiter in the form of more opportunities, prospects of status, increase in your public image. And the good part and the beauty of Jupiter's influence in the first house is that not only it connects you with more opportunities, it facilitates more travels, it expands your horizon, your consciousness, your conscious awareness. But the beauty over here is that Jupiter actually makes your personality very likable. So you automatically attract opportunities, you attract people of influence, you speak wisdom, you make people, fall to your charms. So from all of those perspectives, Jupiter next year is going to be bringing some very positive results for all of you guys. And friends, now lastly, if you want to understand the contribution of Saturn, so friends, try to understand this thing that next year the beauty over the transit of Saturn is that this whole year Saturn remained in the Capricorn sign, but it remained in the Shravan nakshatra. And I always say this thing that Shravan is a positive energy for someone who is either on a spiritual path, you are in a artistic or creative field, anything to do with exploration. But when we talk about planets' inherent and innate capacity, intention and tendency to give you something concrete or manifest concrete results. So somehow if you will compare the energy of Shravan and you will compare it with Dhanishta, because the next whole year from the month of March onwards, Saturn is going to be transiting in the Dhanishta nakshatra. So Dhanishta is a very positive energy, friends, where we talk about exuberance, we talk about opportunities, we talk about your social influence. So trust me, friends, next year Saturn's transit in your 11th house in the Dhanishta section can actually create some very good opportunities for all of you guys. Like briefly, Saturn is going to be entering your 12th house in the Aquarius sign in the months of May, June and July, just briefly for 3 months. But even after that, it is going to retrograde back and it is going to come back to your 11th house. Friends, try to understand the difference between Saturn's transit in the 10th house or the 11th house. When we talk about 11th house, see, 10th house has more to do with your career objective. But when we talk about your personal objective, that is the 11th house, what you can evolve and become. When we talk about the highest of your goals, your wishes, your aspiration, and the beauty of the 11th house is that it is the most future oriented house, and it is also a house which can actually give you this information what you are cut out to play a role in the society. So from all of those aspects, whether playing a very healthy role in the society, upliftment of the society, accomplishment of status, some power, and being put on a path where your soul and your life goals are completely attached or attuned with. So from all of those perspectives, friends, the presence of Saturn in your 11th house in the Dhanishta nakshatra can actually facilitate all of those prospects. So that is something, friends, which I wanted to tell you as a part of the kind of divination, the prophecy which I received from tarot, which is all about manifestation, which is all about inspired action, some new beginnings, and the support of the luck, fortune, divinity, grace of the gods helping you, supporting you, all of your endeavors. And from the astrological perspective, friends, we got to know that Rahu's influence in the 2nd house can actually increase your financial strength, your capacity. It can actually introduce some new way of handling your financial possibilities. Ketu's transit in the 8th house is a very good energy for foraying into the path of spirituality or unfolding any of the occult mysteries. And Jupiter in your 1st house is actually going to enhance your possibility of getting name, fame, recognition, attracting more opportunities. And lastly, Saturn's influence in your 11th house is a very good energy for aligning yourself for some concrete accomplishment and attuning yourself to your personal objectives. So that is something, friends. Now we will look at specifically all the 12 houses, that what kind of energy you can expect next year regarding the matters of that house in your life. So friends, beginning with the 1st house. So definitely, friends, 1st house theme is definitely going to be completely colored with the kind of prophecy or divination which we received from tarot. So again, it's my humble request to do a thorough research on the magician card, because that is definitely going to give you this idea that which approach needs to be followed, what kind of values and attitude needs to be inculcated to succeed next year. And also friends, because of the influence of Jupiter, your ascendant lord, in the first house, it is actually going to strengthen your public image as well. Now friends, moving to the prospects of your second house. So friends, we have already discussed that Rahu's influence in your second house from the month of April and May onwards will start manifesting its complete results in the matters of your second house. So I would say friends, regarding any of your financial growth, looking at new ways of kind of reinforcing your financial state is actually going to be getting more promised because of the Rahu's influence in your second house. I have already said this thing that Rahu's transit in the Aries is a very important and auspicious transit for you, because Mars, which has got the rulership of your second house, also has got the rulership of your house of luck and fortune as well. So lot many travels, lot many exploration, and new financial doors will definitely open for you next whole year. And I would say friends, like, you will start this next year with a bang. So friends, right in the first quarter of the next year, because Mars is going to be empowered in its own sign in your 9th house in the month of January next year. And friends, in the month of March, Mars is going to be exalted in your 11th house and conjunct with Saturn as well. So I would say friends, keep very active, very observant, very proactive right from the beginning of the first quarter of the next year. Because of the empowered state of Mars, your 9th house lord, some opportunity, some new doors can actually get opened up for all of you, and where your finances are straight away going to be benefited because of that. Moving ahead friends, now regarding the matters of your third house. So friends, your third house is being ruled by the planet Venus, which has also got the rulership of your 8th house as well. Now third house, which is the house of your social influence, it is the house of your initiative, your courage, your valor, your mental aptitude. So friends, now the months, like specifically we have to keep a track that when your this third house lord planet Venus is going to be in an empowered state in the transit next whole year. So friends, the months of March, May, July and November. So March, May, July, November are definitely going to be a very promising for you regarding the matters of your third house. So let's say for example, if you are a performer, you are an entrepreneur, you work with your own skill, you work in the fields of media, marketing, sales. So I would say these months can actually bring some new opportunity or can actually give you benefits and gifts and rewards connected to your area of or line of work. Moving ahead friends, now if you want to know regarding the prospects of your fourth house. So friends, as you know that basis your ascendant, Mercury has got the rulership of your fourth house, of your emotional fulfillment, concerns of security, stability, and it has also got the rulership of your seventh house, of your public image, your commercial activity, your relationship with your partner. So I would say friends, regarding the matters of your fourth house, the months of January, February, July, September and October can be seen as very promising for you. In any case friends, the transit of Jupiter, which is your ascendant lord in the first house, Saturn, which in itself promises lifetime achievement and accomplishments, lifetime events. So I would say the fourth house related matters as well. So if you are planning to buy your own apartment, your own house or something like that, so fourth house related matters, whether you want to buy your own house or whether you work in the fields of construction, real estate. So I would say friends, the months of January, February, July, September and October can promise some very good opportunity or good news for all of you guys. Moving ahead, friends, now coming to the matters of your fifth house. So friends, as you know this thing that fifth house is a very important trine house which tells about your relationship with your progeny, with your children, any of the artistic and creative endeavors. This is also the house of speculation for students. It is also a very important house. So I would say, friends, that this house is actually going to get benefited because of the joint aspect of both Jupiter and Saturn. So Saturn is going to be aspecting it from the 11th house and Jupiter is also going to be aspecting it from the ascendant. So which means all the decisions connected with the fifth house will be taken with lot of wisdom and where the divine grace is going to guide you. So whether you are a student, you have completed your studies and you have to pick up a college of your choice, or for someone who is in art or creative fields. So I would say all the decision making or even the opportunities connected with the fifth house is definitely going to help you. So I'm actually friends seeing you guys achieving something substantial in the matters of the fifth house. So artist or a creative person might remain lucky in bagging up some very good opportunity, very good role. And for a student, you might be able to crack some very important competitive exam and be able to get into a prestigious school or course of your choice. And even the matters of the speculative nature of work or speculative interest. So people might also gain and get rewarded in any of the stock market or speculative investments and all. So from all of those perspectives, this year is actually going to be creating some very positive news for all of you guys. And for someone or for all those people who are planning to expand their family and all, so because of the Jupiter's aspect in your fifth house, so even this year can also be seen as very good for taking up the next step in the lines of expanding your family as well, or being blessed with the happiness on the account of children or having a progeny this year. Moving ahead, friends, now if you want to understand the prospects of your sixth house. So friends, try to understand this thing that sixth house tells about the concerns of health, concerns of debts and concerns of your challenges being faced on the account of your enemies. So I would say, friends, like the sixth house related matters are not looking to be a matter of concern or worry for you. The only concern is that your sixth house related matters are definitely going to trigger in specific months. So in the months of April and May, when your sixth house lord is going to be exalted in your second house, but it is going to be conjunct with Rahu as well, and Rahu is also aspecting your sixth house as well. So I would say, friends, try to avoid disputes as much as possible. Try to remain very meticulous, very organized in any of the financial dealings, any of the concerns of greed, any of the concerns of manipulation used by you can actually put you in some sort of disputed situation or conflicting situation. And most importantly, friends, let's say for example, you have to actually keep a check on the kind of yogas you have in your chart, the kind of dashas which will be running during that time, because April and May is going to be a time when all the sixth house related matters are actually going to very suddenly explode because of your sixth house getting exalted and conjunct with Rahu. So during those times, if you are falling in the vulnerable side of this transit of Sun in your second house, so I would say do proper remedies or start doing remedies during that time. And let's say for example, if your planetary yogas are completely protected and you will be running a very positive, very supporting dasha during that time, antar dasha of a 9th house exalted planet or antar dasha of a 10th house lord which is in a dignified state. So I would say, friends, some sudden financial gain in your daily work life, in your service, in your job, can also manifest. Even all those people who are in any of the business setting, some sudden opportunity, sudden rewards, recognition from the government, so all those prospects can also materialize. It all comes down to what kind of dasha and yogas you will be running during that time. And lastly friends, the months of October and November as well. So I would say that when in the mid of the October and the mid of the November, when your 6th house lord is going to be debilitated in the 8th house, so that is also going to be a time when you have to remain very cautious that your actions, your activities should not attract unnecessary conflict, because friends, your 6th house lord is not going to be debilitated in the 8th house, but it is also going to be conjunct with Ketu as well. So I would say the months of April and May, when your 6th house lord is going to be conjunct with Rahu, and the months of October and November, when your 6th house lord is going to be debilitated conjunct with Ketu, you have to follow proper precautions and monitor your activities, your actions during that time. Friends, coming to the prospects of your 7th house. So friends, I would say that this year seems to be very good year for the concerns of marriage. I would say specifically the months, because friends, beyond doubt that when we talk about the marriage, prospects of marriage, running into a compatible match, so we always have to give attention to the planet Jupiter. But also friends, at the end, the final say is always attached to the planet which has got the rulership of your 7th house, the house of marriage. So I would say friends, your 7th house lord is going to be in a dignified state in the months of January, February, July, September, October. So these are going to be the time period, or I would say specifically from the month of May onwards, there is going to be very auspicious yoga for you guys to attract or get into a matrimonial tie. And I would also say friends, this year is actually going to be creating some very good energy where your commercial activities, if you are in a partnership nature of business, if in your case any of the concerns of public image, dealing with public, you're holding a government seat, you're holding a political seat, so your public image can also get enhanced because of the aspect of Jupiter and because of the transit of Saturn in the Dhanishta Nakshatra in your 11th house. So for any of the concerns of the enhancement of your public image as well, this year is going to be creating some very good energy for all the Pisces ascendant natives. Moving ahead friends, now if you want to understand the prospects of the 8th house. So friends, I hate to say this thing, but in this whole playlist, whenever I come down to the 8th house, I always say this thing that I'm going to look at this house, the matters of this house, specifically from the perspective of that how much vulnerable you are going to be this year in the form of the sudden events where the person might lose the grip on the events of his life. So I would say friends, definitely the transit of Ketu in your 8th house make you susceptible or vulnerable towards some sudden unpredictable situation and events. And I would say friends, certain months like the month of May, which is going to be very sensitive, where there is going to be lot of planetary shift which is going to take place. So keep an eye that how your actions, your circumstances are impacting or influencing what kind of dasha you will be running into. And I would say that if you're falling in the vulnerable side, so the worship of Lord Ganesha can actually protect you for any of the sudden unpredictable unpleasing events which might come out of the 8th house. But with that said friends, all those people who are engaged in any sort of spiritual austerities or any sort of research and exploration, so all those people can get benefited because of the transit of Ketu in your 8th house. Now friends, coming to the prospects of your 9th house. So friends, as you can see over here that your 9th house is being ruled by the planet Mars, and this whole year Mars is going to take a tour from your ninth house and reaching till your third house or briefly to your fourth house. So I would say, friends, the transit of Mars, which is a very important planet for you, and this curve, this second half of the horoscope of the chart, is definitely going to be creating some very good energy for you guys. So whether in the form of luck supporting you, exerting yourself with complete confidence, able to manifest or project yourself to the best of your capabilities. So from all of those perspectives, this year is actually going to be creating some very good energy. I would say, friends, any sort of religious austerities, any sort of prayers, meditation, religious austerity can actually bring some wonderful results this year for you. So whomsoever God which you have personal connection, I would say the more you are going to shower your devotion, your worship, this year can actually bring some very good results. And lastly, friends, I would say the months, specifically the months of January, February, March, can actually bring some very good results for you guys. And in the months of July and August, try to remain very cautious, because July and August is going to be time when your ninth house lord is going to be conjunct with Rahu in your second house. So I would say, friends, the months of July and August, you have to remain cautious, specifically if in your case second house related prospects are getting qualified, you are working or engaged in any sort of family business, you are a banker, or let's say, for example, if you are a socialite, you are a public person, your speech gets followed by lot many people follow you. So I would say any of the outburst, any of the bitterness in your speech can actually create troubles for you when your ninth house lord is going to be conjunct with Rahu in your second house. So specifically the months of July and August is something when you have to remain bit cautious. But apart from that, friends, regarding the matters of luck supporting you, I would say this year is actually going to be creating some very good energy for you guys. You will be able to exert yourself to the best of the capabilities. This is not the year for you guys to be on a back foot or to be on that laid back mode. This is the year for you to come out and very proactively exert the best of your energies. So from any of the concerns of luck, devotion, long travels, any of the concerns of higher studies, this year seems to be very positive for all the Pisces ascendant natives. Now, friends, moving to your 10th house. Now, friends, as you know this thing that when we talk about the prospects of the 10th house tells about your professional endeavors. This is a house of status. This is the house of how you get along well with people of authority, people connected with government and everything. So I would say, friends, your 10th house lord is going to be in an empowered state from the month of May onwards. So I would say, friends, once Jupiter is going to enter your first house, all of the professional accountability responsibilities are going to come to you, and you will be able to do justice to that as well. So my advice to all the Pisces ascendant native is that after the first quarter, once your Jupiter is going to enter your first house, try to remain very much accountable and in complete command of your professional development, because life and circumstances are definitely going to put the spotlight on you. So it's better to make yourself self-sufficient, self-reliant, rather than in the times of difficulties looking at other people where you might not be able to get that sort of help which you need. So I would say this year is a very good year for all those people who are in political seats, government top bureaucratic seats, in any sort of leadership role. Either you are there or you stand a chance to get that position. So this year is definitely going to be creating a very positive energy for all the Pisces ascendant native, specifically in the matters of their profession. Now I would say, friends, for long you have been working hard for any government competitive exam. This year can actually create some very good energy for you. And I would say that if you want to start your own business or any sort of attainment of position power, this year is actually looking to be very positive regarding the matters of your 10th house. And lastly friends, if you want to understand the prospects of your 11th house, so friends, I have already said this thing that when we talk about the matters of the 11th house, so what your personal objectives are, what you are cut out for, what kind of role you are meant to play in this life, so all those prospects come to the fore. And as Dhanishta and the Dhanishta's energy is all about wish fulfillment, it's all about exuberance, it's all about elegance. So I would say friends, this year is actually going to be creating some very good energy, because Saturn in your case has got the rulership of both your house of gains and house of loss. So 11th house and 12th house both are being ruled by the planet Saturn only. So it becomes very important, because in whichever house you will find Saturn is transiting, our test and trials comes in that specific area of the life. We have to face the burden of the responsibilities which comes in that specific house where Saturn is going to be transiting. So I would say friends, take the responsibility of any of the community related your duties. Like the way friends, I was watching this video where this person has said this thing that, you know, out of the $1 of your earning, you have to keep aside 30 cents. So 10 cents for the service of church, service of temple, service of mosque in the name of God. 10% is for investments, and 10%, 10 cent I mean to say, is for the society, community. Whatever we are reaping, it is reaping only because of the healthy contribution of the whole community. So friends, summarizing everything, approach and attitude of helping your friends, being very disciplined regarding your personal objectives, your goals, or any sort of voluntary work or philanthropic or humanitarian association can actually bring some wonderful results this year for all the Pisces ascendant natives. And also friends, regarding the matters of your 12th house, so for all those people who are eyeing for foreign residentship, concerns of visa, any of the foreign travels, spiritual growth, so this year seems to be very promising for all the Pisces ascendant natives. So friends, I'm going to complete this video on the same note with which I began it, that my prayers and my blessings that Lord Ganesha's grace shall shower upon you. Lord Ganesha shall remove all the obstacles on the path of your success, and this year shall make you and put you in a more empowered state, opening more and more opportunities for all of you guys. So friends, for further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.